Start by removing the lower front and middle engine covers, and then the 5 fasteners from the front wheel guard. This will give you the access to the lower control arm bushing, bolt, and nut. Next, remove the brake sensor followed by the 2 bolts holding the brake caliper on the wheel hub. Use a bungee cord or something similar to hold the caliper and protect the brake hose. Use a T27 Torx bit to remove the brake rotor screw and remove the brake rotor. To ease the removal and installation of the control arm ball joints, remove the 3 screws holding the rotor dust shield to the hub. Rotate the shield as necessary to gain access to the ball joints. Next, remove the strut from the wheel hub by first removing the bolt and nut from the top mount and the 2 bolts from the back side. Remove the ABS wheel speed sensor. Next is the nut to the lower control arm. Use a punch or similar to temporarily hold the hub in place to give you a better access to the ball joint for removal. Use the ball joint removal tool, see a link to this tool in the description if you need one, and separate the joint by pushing down on the lower control arm. Take your time and make sure you don't damage the threads to the ball joint. To give you better access to the upper control arm nut and avoid running into the strut, secure the strut with a clamp as you see here. Now that you have easier access to this ball joint nut, remove the nut to the upper control arm ball joint and then use the ball joint removal tool to separate it from the hub. The normal procedure for installing lower control arms is to tighten the bolt to the bushing side with the car in neutral position. In other words, sitting on a level ground on its wheels. Another option is to mark the old control arm before removing it since it's in the neutral position, disconnected from the hub, and transfer the marks to the new control arm before installation. This is the method I've chosen, but you can do yours however you'd like. Either way, just don't tighten the bushing bolt while the car is up in the air. This will put undue pressure on the bushing, leading to premature failure. Remove the bushing bolt and nut. I use a 13/16 box end wrench. A 21mm will work also. Tighten the bolt and nut into the aligned new control arm and torque it to your model specifications. Reinstall the lower control arm to the steering hub and ensure the locating pin is aligned before torquing the nut. Also install the nut to the upper control arm ball joint and torque it to your model specification. Reinstall the ABS speed sensor and tighten it with the 10mm bolt. Reinstall the strut upper bolt and nut. To ease installation, use a punch or a flat screwdriver to move the steering hub into position. Tighten and then torque the bolt to your model specification. Then install the 2 bolts securing the lower part of the strut to the steering hub. Make sure that the wires to the sensors are properly routed. Reinstall the 3 screws securing the dust shield to the hub. And then install the rotor with the hold down screw. Reinstall the brake caliper onto the rotor and then install the 2 bolts and torque them to your model specification. I believe as much as you can, you should torque things to the right torque, but I've been turning wrenches for over 40 years and sometimes good and tight is good enough for me. Reinstall the brake pad wear sensor and tighten down the bolt. And finally, reinstall the 5 fasteners securing the wheel well mudguard. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, if it was beneficial to you, please like and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, and it'll motivate me to do some more. Thanks.